this. How do you do it, Mr. President? I haven't set up at 2 a.m. in the morning since I was 25, and now we're 2:16 in the morning having a press conference. How do you do it?
Well, we had a couple of them at 2 o'clock in the morning now. Biden, I guarantee.
You're wearing the press out.
Biden was sleeping for 10 hours already. No, I have a lot of respect for the press, really, I do. Some of it's fake news, but a lot of it's good, like you.
Well, how do you stay so healthy? How do you stay so energized?
Because I enjoy what I'm doing, and I like the results. I think we're making America great again, and it makes me feel good, and probably keeps me happy.
Yeah,
okay? Thank you. That's a nice question. I like this.
Well, I mean, everyone's wondering, like, how in the world do you do it, Mr. President? 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm 55 years old, and I can't keep up with you.
55. What a nice age. Have a good time.
What? I don't know what we just witnessed. I don't know what that video was. The frame cuts off mid-belly on Trump, so I don't know what was going on below the frame. But from context, I think I can guess. What was that? That was a member of the press there? I only know that because Trump said he loves the press, so I guess he thought it was a member of the press. It kind of felt like some acts that normally require payment were being rendered on Trump there. That is Real America's Voice, Brian Glenn, just sucking up to Trump. So much so that I really think Trump was getting uncomfortable there. I think that Trump loves flattery. He loves press not asking questions, just complimenting him. But even he started to feel uncomfortable at how sycophantic that was. Brian Glenn, by the way, as many of you know, is Marjorie Greene's boyfriend. Just for context, I think it's interesting. And so what he's referencing there is Donald Trump's amazing health that we've all learned so much about because the results of his medical examination came out. And in it was said that Mr. Trump remains in excellent health, exhibits excellent cognitive and physical health. And the doctor says that Trump's frequent victories in golf events are part of his active lifestyle. That was the report that, of course, said that he weighs 224 pounds. Now, look, if you want to say that Donald Trump playing a lot of golf is part of an active lifestyle, sure, he does play a lot of golf. We pay something like $2 to $3 million every weekend for him to play golf. Why is the doctor saying frequent victories? What does that have? Does winning golf do more for your cardiovascular system than just playing golf? But again, the doctor and Brian Glenn there, they're not an actual doctor any more than he is an actual journalist. They are just fluffers for this fascistic regime. That's all. The same as you'll see in any despotic regime. They always have people like this, and that's what you saw. But it's not just them. You also have Dr. Marc Siegel on Fox News giving this take.
Even if you're 78 years old, like the president, you can be much more vital and have a more youthful way to behave, and that's the way he seems to be. You know, he said he did a cognitive test again. He's done 4, but you can almost judge him cognitively by how he interacts, unscripted, with people all around the world. And I also like the sense of humor I saw in that physical, because he said that he usually is victorious at golf, which everybody that knows him knows he is victorious at golf, but he didn't say that for medical reasons.
Yeah, no, he didn't say it for medical reasons or for truth reasons, because we know how much Donald Trump cheats at golf. That was a he's not like part of the administration. He's just on Fox News, and I believe that was Fox Business. And that guy, I mean, I saw his lips moving. I assume his hands were moving really fast below the frame too. What was that exactly? This is a news network. And that's a guy, again, just fluffing Donald Trump remotely in this case. By the way, he spoke there about Trump's cognitive fitness. That Dr. Marc Siegel, you might remember him from something. I did too, and I looked it up. He's this guy. He was the guy at the famous woman, man, camera, TV thing. He saw as Donald Trump had a stroke in front of him trying to remember this cognitive exam. That's that same doctor, okay? And yeah, you can see Trump's physical and mental fitness just watching him. We've reported on it many times. We're not gonna do an exhaustive mashup or anything, but here's just a little bit of Trump's cognitive fitness.
Did you just see Maduro, Venezuela, even Argentina, they went MAGA. You know Argentina, great guy. These are smart immigrants, I guess, because most people don't have any idea what the hell a phone app is. You can't have an election in the middle of a political season. The late, great Hannibal Lecter. Did you ever hear of Hannibal Lecter? He was a lovely man. The late, great Hannibal Lecter. When I say insane asylums and then I say Dr. Hannibal Lecter, does anybody know? We are a nation that just recently heard that Saudi Arabia and Russia will repeat
That what he was miming at the end there, acting out, is I think the end result of the interview with Brian Glenn. Actually, look, I disagree with basically everything they said. I will agree with Marc Siegel though. I did a little bit appreciate the comedy in the doctor's report, specifically the joke about the 224 pounds. I thought that was pretty funny. Maz, what do you think?
First of all, I don't know why Argentina, great guy is not a t-shirt. That's a great t-shirt. Yeah. That should be just being bought and worn by everyone, number one. Number two, every time this guy talks about his golf and winning and winning and winning, I'm reminded of the movie The Dictator with Sacha Baron Cohen, where he plays the dictator and he's in a race, like a 100-meter race. And as soon as they say go, he starts running. He just starts shooting all of the other competitors and he wins. I mean, that's kind of what we're in right now. And by the way, that character I think was based a little bit on Muammar Gaddafi. So the truth is, I bet you if someone sat down and looked at the parallels between Muammar Gaddafi and Donald Trump, you would find many, many parallels between the two. So that's the world we're living in right now. We're living in Libya circa whatever, 1985. The other thing I'll say is, when he plays golf, he's not walking from hole to hole. He's in that little cart. So I'm not a golfer myself, but I've seen golfers who carry their bag and they get the steps in. This guy's not getting any steps in. And yet somehow this golf that he's playing is supposed to make his health better? I don't think so. And then we'll go to the guy, the reporter that you were talking about, that we just saw the clips of. He kept asking him over and over, how do you do it? How do you do it? First of all, I was waiting for the first time for Trump to be like, Adderall. I mean, but then he kept asking him over and over. And to your point, Trump seemed to get a little annoyed because Trump is actually tired. What you gotta think about what happened 5 minutes before Trump showed up. What happened was he's probably in the back, half asleep, mouth agape. And someone's like, hey, Mr. President, they want you. So then he, straightened himself up and he went out there and he's like, let me do this. And then the guy started asking those good questions. But in his mind, he's like, I need to go back and sleep. I'm exhausted. Mm-hmm. And this guy kept asking the questions over and over again. And it reminded me of something you said earlier where you said, Caitlin Collins should ask him, the butt question just going out. And maybe it'll cause him to have that aneurysm or whatever. It felt like this reporter was trying to kill Trump. Because he kept asking him, because Trump was like, hey, you're a great guy, I gotta go. And he's like, no, but really, sir, how do you do it? He's like, wow, 4, fantastic, great. How do you do it, sir? You could tell that he was exhausted by this guy. So when you reminded us that the reporter is also Marjorie Taylor Greene's boyfriend, I'm reminded of the fact that Marjorie Taylor Greene is one of 435 members of Congress, 435 members of the best we could do. And she posts and says the things that she does. If she were a fitness instructor doing fitness videos, I'd be fine. And it seems like she and her boyfriend are of the same mind. They come from the same world. They're obsessed with fitness. Because you see, she posts those fitness videos, but she's also a Congress member. So these two bozos are somehow in the leader of the free world's inner circle. And this is the world we're living in. We are in the movie The Dictator, 100%.
All of it is just so pathetic. I feel so uncomfortable watching. Whenever Trump is on his plane leaning out the window, it's just, and I do think that, I think Brian Glenn was making him uncomfortable. I wanted to have that scene from White Lotus where Saxon tells Lachlan, you can worship me, but don't worship me. Because I feel like Brian Glenn is a people pleaser in the Lachlan model.